Good day, everyone. To avoid a rainstorm, I am going to be recording a video on how to calculate crime rates in ArcGIS. In front of you, see Little Rock used it many times before. On their data portal, they have the block groups for 2020. You can see that underneath. I have not clipped it, so it's the ones that intersect the city boundary. With that, I did grab the homicide and ag assault for 2022. You see those points on the map here. And I also brought in the total population by block group. For Pulaski County as a whole, we'll have to do a join based on the GeoID. For those of you in class, I grabbed this from Social Explorer, downloaded all county or all block groups within Pulaski County that contains Little Rock. I had to use the equal right formula in Excel to grab the 12 right characters from the geographic identifier. If you remember, the FIPS at the beginning misses that 0. And you can see here, even for the state, 5 is by itself with no 0. You need that because when we open the block group attribute table, the GeoID here has that leading 0, so you need that to match. You can see all of these have the zeros here, even with the track face itself. When we download it, it's missing that, so we always have to bring that back in. Luckily, we do have that geographic identifier we can pull from. With that, crime rates are truly the crime count divided by the population, and then if you want to do by 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, you multiply that to create a metric for comparison. For our purposes today, we're going to make block group violent crime rates per 1,000 residents. So I went ahead and downloaded the 2021 ACS. You can see it's the ACS here. And I downloaded the population estimate for that for each block group within Pulaski County. So that's Pulaski County. It's larger than Little Rock itself. You can see here, there's only 151 block groups that intersect our city. And within that, those 151 are in this 287 file. So we're going to have to do a couple different types of joins here to then be able to calculate a crime rate. To do that, keep in mind we want to grab the population first. So let's start there. I'm going to turn off our homicide and ag assault. And we have a table. The table here has information we want to append or join to this block group file. To do that, since I want to join data to my block group shapefile, I'm going to right click, join and relate, add a join. This is a table, so it's not a spatial join. We're grabbing information, a column from a table itself. I'm going to change my join table to our total population one for Pulaski County. And it's going to ask, what do I want to join these two files on that's common across both? So a unique identifier in each, GeoID, and then I need to make sure this one's also the GeoID that I created in Excel to match. If you ever wondered, well, do these match or not, you can still open the attribute tables for them. And you can kind of just look to say or see, did I grab the right one? Yes, I'm good to go. You can also do the validate. This will tell you how many are similar across files, so how many match. And you can see here, there's 151. And the join table has 287, so we're going to have 151 matches is what we want because those 151 are the block groups that intersect Little Rock. Hit OK, and now we're good to go. Since we already had this attribute table open, it's our advantage now. So if I scroll all the way to the right, I now have that total population appended to this same table. So if I wanted to update my symbology to display total population by neighborhood, I can come in and change this to graduated color, update this now to total population, change this from natural breaks to, let's just do quantile. And we can see now where we have red, we have a greater population there. Makes sense. And you can also see those are somewhat larger, and this is West Little Rock. This is more the downtown area itself. But we can see now the population distribution across neighborhoods that intersect Little Rock as a whole. With that, we might be interested in also crime occurring in these neighborhoods. So to do that, we have these points, and now we need to run a spatial join. We want to join or essentially get a count of how many homicides and ag assaults there were in 2022 within each neighborhood. I still want to join data to my block groups, so I'm right-clicking on my block groups, join and relate. This time I'm adding a spatial join to this. I want to join in my ag assault and homicide from 2022. For this one, think about it. I have polygons here, so my neighborhoods contain my points, my little dots there that you can see a bit easier now. So you want to change that match option to contain. And we didn't cover this in class, but it just cleans up your file in terms of what it's going to join with. I only want that join count. I don't care about the status, the score, match type, any of this. This gets appended to the end and means nothing for us. We just want that join count that it automatically generates for us. In the future, I'll make another video of how you can put another output field and control this and have the merge rule and what it calculates for you. You do have the ability to do some basic statistics with this. Future video, we're on this to start off with. Good there. Click OK. And it's adding that spatial join. If you're in class, it actually adds and it creates a new layer for you. So it just is different that way. So if I come across now, I still have my total population here. And now I have a join count that represents, even though it kept all that in, even though I exited out. With that though, you can see my join count is the number of incidents per neighborhood. So if I copy and paste this same one in it, so I have two layers that are the same, it's the same file, and I change this one to be my join count. This is a count of ag assault and homicides per neighborhood. So this is where if we looked at just the counts, and I'll turn off this layer, you can see where our counts are high. So where we have a lot of violence within Little Rock. If I turn this layer off and now we have total population. So we can see some changes here based on population and where crime is occurring in high volumes in terms of violence. What we don't know is what's this look like when we take into account the population. So we have a rate, so how many violent crimes there are per the residential basis. With that, we have the data we need within here. And I'm gonna just delete one of these to make our life a little easier and work just from our first one that has our crime count in it. So with that, we're gonna come in, open the attribute table. We want to add a field at this point. With that, we're just going to label this crime, or let's do rate 1K. The key part here is we care about decimal places for this. So we're going to change this from long to double. Come up and click save at the top. And now this creates, similar to Excel, it's a blank column for us. We can go in and calculate in this column for whatever we want. At the end, we have our rate 1K, right click, we can come down to calculate field. Similar to Excel, if we think about it in the same way, what are you trying to do here? With that, I'm going to have our equal sign here. We're going to open a parenthesis. We're going to grab that join count. That's our count of crimes. We're going to divide that by our total population in that same neighborhood. And then we're going to close off that parenthesis. And now we're going to times it by 1,000 to give us how many violent crimes there were per 1,000 residents in that neighborhood. Go ahead and click OK. And it runs this calculation for us, so we actually have that here. And keep in mind, I thought these were going to be deleted. They should have. You can always right click on any of these and delete a column. So you have the ability to do that, and it's not letting me. So I go to data, export feature. I'm going to save this as a new layer, block groups, crime rates. Click OK. I'm saving it as a new layer because I've done a lot of joins to it, so I want it to recognize this as a separate layer, and they're truly stuck with it. So if I open this attribute table now, I have all the same data in it. I have my rates, I have my joins and all that, but if I right click now and delete, it will truly delete the field that I asked it to. And you can do this to clean it up, and you can do this in the fields as well if you want to get into edit. But for now, we're still just interested in this rate 1K, and we just want to display this. So similar to with any other symbology, change this to graduated color, select your rate per 1K, and you can see now where crime rates are higher within our city, and I'm going to just remove the boundary above. So you can see where violence is high when you take into account the underlying population of Little Rock. With that, it's natural breaks. So I'll change this to quantile, so it's 20% kind of changes there. You can see that to where we have high crime to low crime, and you can change the color variation to it to be more reflective of that if you'd like to see high to low areas. Some of these are what we would expect if you're familiar with Little Rock. They also follow our interstate systems itself, and our whitefly areas out here. With that, it's a quick video to follow what we did in class. If there's any questions, feel free to reach out. I'll make a couple more of these to show you how to clean this up as you go through it. It's more so at the back end, once you get used to what you're doing, how to create cleaner files as you move forward. Until then, take care.